Welcome to Tune In with Talya. And I'd like to welcome a very special guest this evening. Her name is Elise Frawley. Welcome, Elise, to my show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
And Elise actually is related to me in an interesting way. She's my first cousin's wife. So my father and her husband's father are brothers. And so we're cousins.
Yeah. So they are unfortunately stuck with me, but which I'm very fortunate for, that they put up with me. But yeah, it's a lovely family to be a part of. We have annual Thanksgiving get-togethers and had a remote Zoom get together this year or last year, of course. That
Yeah.
was great. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah.
yeah, so I love that you're part of my family.
Oh, I love being part of your
I
family.
love it.
Yeah.
And another musician, so we've collaborated actually together in the past. You've accompanied my services at my synagogue at Congregation Lador Door for the holidays, and that's been fun. And we've loved having you.
Yeah, that was such an honor on so many levels. I think especially as a violist, being able to play the Kol Nidre, which is originally a piece for cello, and then any great cello piece a violist can play, we're like, oh, awesome. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And
I want to have you back. I hope we can do that.
oh yeah, that would be so much fun. Or all sorts of there's a lot of like yeah, viola kind of like mezzo soprano repertoire out there with piano. Yeah, it'd be so much fun to.
We should collaborate once
Yeah,
everything's back to some sort of normal, right?
exactly. Yeah, I know. I
So
know.
well, I want to tell everybody about you because you have such an incredible background. Your bio is so impressive. And I'm going to just read a little bit of your bio because I can't read the entire thing. It's so long and so amazing and extensive. So, but I'm going to read a little bit so people can get to know you. So, Elise is a violist who enjoys playing both classical and contemporary music. She has performed as an orchestral, chamber, and side musician at such venues as Carnegie Hall, Lincoln Center, New York Town Hall, the Beacon Theater, and Radio City Music Hall, as well as downtown clubs and spaces for chamber music. She has played on the albums of major recording artists and appeared on such late night shows as Saturday Night Live, The Tonight Show, The Late Show. She performs as a duo with acclaimed Portuguese pianist Nuno Marques to showcase the breadth of repertoire for viola and piano, particularly by composers who may have been historically overlooked due to race, ethnicity, or gender identity. She also holds a faculty position at the 92nd Street Y School of Music. And in addition to performing and teaching, she is an executive board member of AFM Local 802, the largest chapter of professional musicians in the United States and Canada. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
thank you.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So I want to hear everything. But I'm going to ask you some questions
Yeah.
so we get to know you a bit. So when did you start playing viola? What age? Right.
So I um so I'm actually my secret identity is that I started out as a violinist, which is transition from violin to viola was sort of like finding my voice in music. But I started as a violinist when I was 8, just in public school in group classes. I grew up in Westchester County, and then we were fortunate to have a lot more funding for the arts in schools, which I really hope we can attain at some point, in the near future again. Anyway, so I was just taking these classes and I liked it, and you know, kept pursuing. I pursued private lessons and youth orchestras, and before I knew it, I was asked to play, you know, viola in a chamber group, and I thought, oh, that'd be interesting. And then I just kind of started to take up viola, went to school for it, and yeah, and so it was. I was very fortunate to have something that was kind of my hobby that I started on my own, you know, and I could. I felt that I related to just on a deep level. So yeah.
Nice. I love the sound of a viola. It's beautiful. It's a
Thank you.
beautiful timbre.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your playing is exquisite.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. No, thank you very much. I mean, your singing is beautiful. So it's, yeah, it's always so nice to be able to play, you know, when we're in um at the synagogue together playing, and yeah. So no, I would love to do some chamber music together soon, because
Well, I have a feeling we will make that happen.
yeah, that'd be great.
Who else in your family is musicals? Anybody else? Yeah.
So my dad is a he's not a professional musician, but he is very passionate about playing guitar, and um, you know, he and I didn't quite speak the same musical language. I he was very into he is very into rock music, especially the Beatles. I heard the Beatles a lot through my childhood, and so I think I almost like rebelled being a classical musician. I don't know. And but he was always very encouraging. All my family was very encouraging, but he you know, kind of knew how much, you know, went into practicing and all those sorts of things behind the scenes that you have to make sure you're doing. And as a kid, you know, you can enjoy something, but to become disciplined at it, sometimes it helps to have someone who can remind you, and yeah, kind of be supportive that way. So yeah, so I was lucky to have family members who were interested and encouraging.
That's great.
Yeah.
And who else inspired you at a young age? Were there musicians that you looked up to? Um, who inspired you now? Who inspires you now? Who in your life have you been inspired by?
So I would say I always loved, you know, each of my private teachers um, growing up, because they were, you know, you just kind of you spend time with them, you know, an hour or whatever it is once a week, um, you know, working on something in depth. And so I always really admired how they played. And then I would say um, these days, I think people inspire me, like a lot of historical figures inspire me who have um, sort of persevered through very uncomfortable situations, which we, you know, we are in now because of COVID. Um, I would say Jacqueline Dupre is like my favorite artist. She's, if you don't, you know, for those who aren't familiar with her, she's a cellist who is from like, she grew up in the mid 20th century. She's this fantastic soloist. There are recordings like the Elgar Cello Concerto, for example, where like I can't listen to anyone else play it except her. It's just like a masterpiece, and she was so effortless. And you think of like being a female at the time, you know, I mean, well, being a female musician who probably had to deal with, you know, like sexism in the workplace and all of that. She ended up having multiple sclerosis, and she died from that. But like even, you know, when she was, I guess, kind of going, you know, as she deteriorated, you know, there's still recordings of her kind of in the beginnings of those disease. She was still able to keep her musical spirit, and yeah, I would say she's been a big inspiration. So yeah, those would be my
Yeah, I love. She was incredible. She was an incredible artist.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
Elgar. Oh, I've heard that before. I've heard her play that. It's wow.
I know, it's right. And yeah, it's, yeah, you really, especially like, you know, learning, as you know, going through music school and learning different repertoire and, you know, everything, you work on, it has to be very technically precise. And she just like transcended the instrument. And you're like, oh, that's wow.
Yes.
I want a piece of that. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went to Manhattan School of Music and NYU, right, for your schooling, which is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. We overlapped,
Yes, we
but
did. It was like a
I was
year.
an undergraduate. I was,
You were undergrad. I was there while during my grad years.
yeah. So I was just a little,
Mhm.
I wasn't cool like grad students.
But
But
yeah, did you have a great time there? Did you enjoy your experience?
I think well, I think music school, especially when you come from a public school, which I really loved, the school I grew up going to, but like when you get to a specialized school, you're like, this is,
Oh my
I
God.
found my island of misfit toys. Like, this is great. So yeah, it was really nice forging those friendships and just being able to, talk about music randomly with people. It was normal, like, which was refreshing. So yeah, how about you? How did you like it?
It was great. I know I loved going to music school from high school and just discovering now all these people that I can really connect with on a deep level and share music with on such a deep level. It was so yeah, inspiring, very intense though, very intense years. I mean, I went to Juilliard undergrad and Manhattan School for grad and it was like I just wasn't ready at 18 to be like this is like your full day of music and dance and theory and it was very intense, I have to say, but also incredibly inspiring. I had amazing teachers. I was surrounded by so much talent all the time and got to see so many incredible performances right in Lincoln Center, the
Right.
cathedral. So it was just an amazing experience, but also very challenging at times, and cutthroat, that feeling of, competition always, in the background. That was,
Yeah, no, totally. And I think also, I mean, for me, your instrument feels like such a part of your identity. And then you're like, yeah, thrust into this world where you have to think of it as a profession where, you're like critiqued and all that. And it's hard, like, yeah, as a young person to separate those two things. Like, yeah, right. Like I'm a musician and here I'm a person who can have a life. Like,
right.
yeah, so that, right. That is extremely challenging. Yeah, I definitely struggled with that too. But yeah, I mean, I guess one kind of grows and you kind of see where you can think about music here and you can think about family here and, whatever your other hobbies are. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I certainly miss, yeah, being able to like walk out into Manhattan, it's pandemic, so we can't see live music now, but just like showing up to a concert hall and being like, oh, like so and so's here in the cheap seats in the balcony because that's where I
Yeah.
went as a student. So
It will
yeah,
happen again. It will come back. New York will come back to life eventually. We just have to be patient.
yeah,
It's not the city right now that we know, that we've known all these years.
no, but like artists, like throughout New York City, throughout New York's history, artists have always been like the bedrock of
Yeah.
rebuilding it and think of any neighborhood that's like exclusive to live in or interesting to live in. Like it all started out with artists like doing what they do there. So yeah, I really hope we have an opportunity to have more opportunity, yeah, performances and
Yeah.
things like that, around town. Be great.
It sounds like New York has been a playground for you for just performing. You've performed in so many prestigious venues, from Carnegie Hall to Rockwood Music Hall to just incredible places. So I want to hear more about some of the maybe concerts or performances that you've done that have stood out in your career um, so far. I mean, you've been everywhere, you've been all over the place, and you've been on TV shows too. I mean, like with all these famous people. Yeah,
They had no idea who I was. So they
with Colbert or Fallon or
yeah, they no, Alan had no
you're
idea.
just in the background for
The
the
background, yeah, the shadowy figure.
oh beautiful on stage playing right in behind the artists.
Yeah, you have to try to angle. one side of the camera or the other. So no, I don't know. No, yeah, yeah. It's it's interesting. I think yeah, like there are a lot of like really incredible historic venues in the city, and I think like when I first played at Carnegie, like in youth orchestra, I remember like looking down at the stage and seeing like the cello pinholes and thinking like, wow, it's incredible. All these past musicians have come here, and yeah, I think every I would say maybe an interesting um, orchestral performance I can think of is playing Under the Whale at the American Museum of Natural History. The Chelsea Symphony had played John Luther Adams' "Become Ocean," which is it's a gorgeous like 45-minute work, and it just kind of portrays like the ocean, waves like coming onto shore and like receding, and yeah, it was very meditative, and it was just a very unique place to play, and you sort of have this out of body experience, like what am I? Wow, this is this is cool. Yeah, this is like on so many levels. You have the artistic experience and the experience of like how this can connect to nature, science, to like social awareness. So that was memorable. Couple of others I would say. Yeah, I also think. Oh, let's see. There are these. I have friends who own this small bar restaurant, and occasionally they would let me, bring a string quartet in and just play, and it was just nice, sort of being able to play like standard string quartet repertoire, and you would just hear the din of the bar kind of stop, and people would listen, and he thought like, oh, classical music really does touch people from all walks of life. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a very formal setting, and in a way it almost felt like it was I could really share more with the audience. So yeah, I don't know, yeah, there are so many different I've had a lot of opportunities, and I feel very fortunate for that. But yeah.
And you've traveled too, I'm sure, with traveling out of the country with the viola.
Yeah, travel. Yeah, I have, right. I've toured in a chamber orchestra um, across the country. Went to the Pacific Northwest, like down through California. I would like to travel. I really have the travel bug now, now that we're in a pandemic. So I'm hoping to be able to travel more to Europe and play as well. Yeah.
There'll be opportunities. There will be.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, it'd be nice to play and sightsee and all that. Yeah.
All of it. I know you like to travel. I know you and Nat love to travel. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, but we have a little,
what,
yeah.
what now you have a baby, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
So Noah, your little one, was born right at the beginning, right, of the pandemic, right? That must have been crazy experience having a baby as everything's shutting down and this fear of this virus is going how
see.
was
It
having
was like, well, he was born on the Ides of March, March 15th. So, I was like, oh, that seems ominous, and that's a little ominous for a birthday. And he, I mean, from having kids, it was like this, yeah, it's a transformative experience where you just totally, like, your whole perspective and mindset changes, and especially with the pandemic starting, I almost felt like everyone was going on maternity leave with me. I was like, okay, well,
be locked down anyway?
yeah, right. Yeah, but it was stressful because it was like there was an invisible enemy. Like at the time, like back in March and April, the pandemic was really hitting New York hard, and then we didn't know, um, we knew some parts of how it spread. We thought it was more like superficial, like spreading, like you would touch a surface and you could get the virus. um it was kind of hitting all
Mystery.
these. Yeah, right, it was so mysterious. It was like affecting all sorts of different people. There didn't seem to be rhyme or reason. So like,
Mhm.
yeah, we right, it was like,
Hospital. Oh, that must have been stressful. You know.
oh, being at the hospital for the delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was I don't think everyone had started wearing masks yet. But there were no visitors allowed. So things were bubbling. But and then I know some people afterwards, maybe for a couple weeks, had to deliver by themselves without their partners. And I think that they started that and stopped it because, like,
I know.
that's, yeah,
Oh,
that's a really difficult thing.
very hard to go through.
Yeah.
Wow. But
So
but you made it through, and you have a beautiful baby, and he's now almost a year. I can't even believe that. In March.
I know. I know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, like twofold. I mean, yeah, they grow very fast, but
Are long.
the days are long.
The days are long, but it goes fast, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and it's incredible. You see this little person emerging with their personality. Like, his thing now is to just shake his head no at everything. He just learned how to do that. I never taught him. Every time you ask him a question, he just goes,
No. He's learning now.
yeah.
I'm sure he loves when you're playing at home and
he,
practicing.
he likes it. He knows the viola. He uh and I'm like tempted to sometimes, play like nursery rhymes around him because I'm like, does he want to hear the Bartok viola concerto? I don't know. Like, it's a little it's a little intense for a 10-month old.
Great exposure. He's gonna, yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I know, right. Yeah,
sophisticated amongst his friends.
exactly right. Yeah, I do want him to have like somewhat of a normal childhood. So I might, yeah. So I try to play some hits too, some standards. But
Bring it on.
yeah, but it's cute. But he likes it. He understands how Zoom and FaceTime work.
Hmm. It's amazing.
I don't love that he has seen screens this early, but he'll see his grandparents on video and be like, oh, or whatever, Zoom. And yeah, so anyway, but yeah, he loves music. We got a little piano, like a Wurlitzer.
Yeah.
I don't play, you know, I don't play at all, but he likes to bang on the keys. So I don't know, maybe someday he'll
Aw.
play a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe someday he'll accompany you. You never know.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, you have a duo, right? You have a duo partner. I want to hear about I want to hear about this guy.
Yeah, my friend Nuno, he is fantastic.
You know.
He is from Portugal, and we met both studying at NYU. He has a wonderful wife, Marielle, and we're like, I really enjoy playing with him, and it's my husband and I, or Nat and I, and him and Marielle hang out all the time, and he runs a music festival called Porto Piano Fest in Portugal. So that's something that keeps him busy. But we have been lucky to play concerts around the city.
Hmm.
We scheduled this a couple, like maybe 2 years ago, but we are due to play um, a chamber music concert at Trinity Church downtown at St. Paul's Chapel, which is a beautiful little chapel concert venue. We'll see if it's still scheduled, but for now, it should. Um, we assume, unless things remain shut down, that it'll happen. But yeah, so that's what we have on the horizon, and we're also commissioning pieces for an upcoming album. So yeah,
What kind of music is that?
what's that?
What kind of music?
So they're works by basically, friends who are composers, um, whose work I really admire. And we're taking the idea of the voice of viola and piano creating something song-like. So um, just taking like the structures of contemporary music you might hear on the radio, or you might have, listened to just kind of, like a 3 to 5 minute song, and trying to use our aesthetic with that. So, because I find, yeah, I would like music to relate to all different audiences, and so I thought it'd be nice to create that sort of um,
Oh,
environment for people to listen to. So,
I'd love for us to hear something that you and Nuno have performed. Is there any way you could share it? Or I know we didn't really talk about this, but
oh yeah, oh my goodness, I guess yeah, no, I do. I could certainly share a clip. Should I say roll the clip? Can
sure.
no, no, just, we'll do it in post. Roll the clip, and then I'll point wherever the clip is going to show. No, no, no. But yeah, no, I would. I don't know. They do it on talk shows, so I'll, yeah, no, I definitely, we have like some, yeah, material, some, yeah, kind of excerpts of some pieces. It'd be great to share. Yeah.
I'd love to see it. Also, in the chat, you could also put like links to things that you maybe want our viewers to check out
Oh,
in our.
yeah,
You can add it in afterwards, whichever.
yeah, yeah. I'm not as I. One thing I am working on is being a little savvier with
We all are.
having links and promotional materials prepared. So um, I'll I'll get on that. Yeah.
No, but I've been watching your videos and I've been enjoying them.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Likewise, I see. Yeah, you're. Yeah, the yeah, singing with the congregation, with for the congregation, has been beautiful. And yeah, and the Yom Kippur service was beautiful too this year. You guys really did a great job, especially in light of everything. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks. So, are you able to work on projects from home? Are you able to? I know we're all learning this tech curve here. We're all on this tech curve. Are you able to do virtual projects while you're home? Um, or is that hard to do right now? It's hard.
It's yeah, it's really hard. It's very hard. I think, I mean, this has been talked about a lot in articles, where we're sort of reflecting on what it is to be at home mostly. And I think for primary caretakers, who are often women in the family, it does become hard to really balance your professional pursuits with childcare.
And
I
yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And when Noah is, he can um occupy himself like in his play area for enough time for me to do some sort of menial thing. um so I really have to figure out what that schedule is. I've been fortunate over the past couple of months. I've been able to kind of safely have Noah go see his grandparents a couple of days a week. That's been extremely helpful. But yeah, especially in the beginning, it was like you're just so immersed. Even new moms who weren't in a pandemic, like, find themselves like, how do I budget my
Mhm.
time with the kid and with sleeping? That's the other thing. Like, you never
Yeah,
you
sleeping. Who sleeps anymore?
no, I know. Yeah. And yeah, right. You never like,
Yeah.
uh, I did not know what sleep deprivation was until like,
Maybe.
oh man, I have to get up. Yeah, I'm only going to get a couple, 6, 7 hours sleep last night, this night. It's terrible. Like, that's in the before times. Now it's like,
Uh-huh.
I slept for a cycle, like a sleep cycle. I did it. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, but yeah, as far as individual projects, yeah, eventually, this is a unique time in general, but I've been able to budget some things somewhat. Um, a lot of because a lot of concert halls and kind of professional opportunities for musicians are shut down. A lot of my focus has been with the musicians union to advocate for um, you know fair contracts through this pandemic, or making sure contracts with established institutions aren't broken. That can be really problematic. And then just thinking of ways to collaborate with people, remotely, and yeah. So it's been I've been learning on a lot of levels to figure it all out.
That's
So
great. That's really great.
yeah, and like great projects like that. Like you've created this wonderful
Oh,
project, which who knows, it could where it will grow, and kind of what you can do with it. And yeah,
it's been fun for me just connecting with friends and family
yeah,
and making new friends and just checking in with artists during this time and seeing how everybody is surviving or coping, or some are thriving. There are some people that are so into this whole virtual thing and able to do so many projects during this time from different countries, and then there are others that are just struggling because they are a Broadway actress and they're shut down and figuring out how to make money right now. It's challenging. It's a challenging time, and so I thought it was an important way to highlight artists and talent, and when at a time where people are feeling low, or you know
right.
not
Oh,
so
it's
hopeful about the
wonderful.
future.
It's yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, I think right, and sort of to remind ourselves, like, um this isn't the end of, like, what, this isn't the end of performing. It's a pause, and yeah, we'll be back. And
Yes.
um I don't want to say this will be a blip on the radar, because I think we'll be talking about this for a long time. But like, but yeah, I there was this like some outdoor, I guess I've seen some sort of outdoor events that have sort of happened semi spontaneously, like within a day or two of planning.
Yeah.
And when those events happen, like in a local park, I mean, the people that just like gather around to listen,
Mm-hmm.
it's like they just, like, people want to be in an audience, like experiencing
People need
art.
it.
So
Their
yeah.
souls need it. People need to be lifted. Music is such a healing and powerful force, and the
Right.
more outdoor stuff, I feel like the better. As long as people are being safe about it, then yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. It's like you can, right, it's, experiencing humanity on this visceral level. And, I mean, music is my, you know, I guess, weapon of choice, whatever you call, is the way I would like to express that. So, I think, yeah, I think it's important to talk and keep creating, and know there's going to be something on the other side. We'll get through all this. So yeah,
So there are some silver linings that have come from this pause, right?
yeah. I'd say silver linings. I mean, I I guess to um, I think our lives are so busy as artists, and being in New York, that now pausing, you sort of have a deeper appreciation for the people you love, and um, just regular routines, where you could kind of be close with family, or enjoying, like, I mean, it was sunny this weekend, and I think and it's winter, so it's not,
Yeah.
it's like it's still cold, but like, I think in the past I would have just kind of run from my apartment door, like down the subway stairs, and like not really paid attention. And now, you can see everyone sort of just like taking deep breaths and like soaking it all in. And
I never spent so much time outside in the winter until this year.
I know, yeah, and it has not been a bad winter. It's been
Yeah, it's been pretty mild. I mean, I'll take a 40 degree, 40
yeah,
day sun, you know.
practically balmy. I'll take it. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah, it's right. So like you sort of right, you appreciate those little things. And I think I've also I've been listening to this is I'm gonna out myself as a nerd if, if people have not already figured it out. But I've been listening to this podcast about the history of the ancient world, which like spoiler alert, there's nothing new under the sun. Like every there have been these very, you know, like plagues and sort of difficult political eras and you know, for thousands of years. And we've persevered, and the things you remember from throughout history are like culture and the arts. Um, so
Yeah.
I think that's, yeah, our role now is to, um, you know, maintain, um, yeah, the arts and kind of the spirit of what our humanity is. And that's what history will remember us by.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, it's yeah. There was
That podcast.
very ancient history. Maybe was a little more.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty intense.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, you have a lot of hobbies. It sounds like you're. I read in your bio that you love to cook and you love learning languages, and you're able to focus on some of those things now too.
I'm not able to focus on either of them.
Because you have a baby, of course.
Yeah, that bio was written. Yeah, pre baby, so I'm not able to focus on any of them. I did cook dinner tonight, but uh, yeah, I wish. Yeah, yeah, I would love to. I actually was learning the Hebrew alphabet, which I
Yeah.
before I think I was pregnant. Anyway, yeah, and then yeah, learn the alphabet, and then yeah, it'd be nice to learn the language
When you
too.
get some sleep and some time.
Exactly. Yeah, but yeah, I
And
can.
are you teaching over Zoom? Are you able to do that?
I can. Yes, I do teach over Zoom. It's my students have been extremely disciplined and lovely. Um, I'm very much looking forward to teaching again in person. I think, yeah, you know, being able to hear each other in person, tune their instruments, things like that.
It's
Yeah,
challenging, right, to not be in person. It's much more.
yeah, I would say, and I think also, you know, Noah has been very as cooperative as a baby can be
Right.
with Zoom lessons. He loves to like listen to people play, um, but he's a baby, so like you know, there's
Mommy.
limit to that. Yeah. So I've had to kind of navigate, you know, when like nap teaching lessons with nap times and things like that. So
I read that you teach preschool up into adulthood. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So yeah, right now, I don't have. It's hard to have very young students. I think, you know, in this environment, having to start an instrument. But yeah, you know, I've loved like starting kids off on instruments and just. And now I see with my own kid, you're just so excited about, you know, any little thing they can do. So
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't have that perspective, um, you know, as deeply before I became a parent when I was teaching. So
Mhm.
yeah, so no, teaching people of all ages is wonderful. Really enjoy it. Yeah.
I want Eliana to start my 4-year-old. I want her to start something, but I feel like I don't want her to start over Zoom as her first introduction to piano, let's say, or I'd like her to have an in-person lesson. So I'm wondering if I should start her or if I should wait, till she can have an in-person lesson.
Yeah, I've been pretty I've been really surprised, like pleasantly surprised at the resilience of kids on
Yeah.
Zoom, like they're okay. Like they get that this is a weird time. So um, I think if she takes to it and it speaks to her, um, I would go for it, or anything. And also, I don't necessarily. I mean, lessons are very important, but even her just being creative
Yeah.
with music is a great place to start. Like, yeah, so.
Today she was singing This Little Light of Mine, I'm Gonna Let It Shine. In honor of MLK Day, she was singing it around the house. Like she was doing some spiritual, I was teaching her all these spirituals and she was belting them out around the house.
Oh, she's a belter.
Well, she, high it, but then she can really belt it out if she wants to.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice. Does she have good does she really love singing? Is
She
she
really does. I can see there's definitely the music spark in her, and actually both my kids. I think Elon's the drummer. I think he is. I mean, he just everything he taps on, everything is a
Oh, interesting.
so yeah.
That's great. And you don't have downstairs neighbors, so
No, he can. I know I could just put him in the basement.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, to have right. Yeah, maybe they could I think they're yeah, in a way, like now they can sort of really focus on being creative. So who knows, maybe they could
Who knows?
play together or something someday. Yeah.
A little band.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we definitely do a lot of dance parties here to get the energy out.
Yeah, absolutely. And with a new dog, right? The
Oh, great too. I know.
We're
The
gonna have to.
plan.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so nice to catch up with you. And
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, no, I'm so glad. Yeah, there's kind of a space to talk about, what the arts mean to all of us, and
yeah,
yeah, and I'm looking forward to playing in person. Hopefully with you, and kind of just around soon. It's we're hopeful it's going to happen, because I know through the musicians union we've been looking into researching ways to make sure performance spaces are safe, working with industrial hygienists and
okay.
all of these specialists who I was not aware of until I had to worry about microparticles moving around.
Engineers testing the airflow and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, airflow, ventilation, and
Leak
yeah, I'm sorry.
Making these lights now, like ultraviolet lights, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, I think I have read that. Just I mean, I think it's totally worth the investment to figure out how we can get things up and running, because the ramifications of not having the arts are really far-reaching and devastating. Spiritually, economically,
Yes.
socially. So yeah, so where
Thank you
everyone's
for this.
working to get stuff up and running safely again. So yeah, I really hope we can all
Yeah,
play
I
and
feel for
hang out.
those seniors just graduating, and going into their careers and then seeing a world that's shut down. I feel for those people, for those young, artists starting out.
Yeah, it was. Well, we graduated. I mean, the recession now pales in comparison, but yeah, I remember. Yeah, 2008. Kind of felt like that moment where it was like,
Right.
what do you do, as an artist? And from that, so many creative projects emerged. So yeah, I sort of, yeah, I think that's a silver lining. I kind of have hope that from this, those who are, whose jobs it is to be creative artists will know what to do, and hopefully have the resources to do it. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we have a new president starting in a couple days. There's a lot of new things shifting in the world, in the country and in the world. So, and
yeah.
vaccines, and I feel like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel more than I have in the past. So, I'm I'm grateful that some family members of mine have already been vaccinated, and we're moving in that direction.
Yeah. I know, right? It's yeah. What is the? It's oh my goodness. This is a good. Is it the dawn? It's always darkest before the dawn.
Oh, a quote.
Yeah,
That's a good way to end our.
or the dawn. Yes, and it. Oh, oh no. Okay, it's always darkest just before the dawn. I thought it is Martin Luther King Day, who is a, I mean, just a, a figure that we talk about inspirational, someone who for these times we really, you know, would are fortunate to be able to look to for guidance. I thought he may have just said that in a speech. It's quoting it's quoting a more ancient text. But anyway, that's yeah, we're almost at the end of the tunnel, so we just have to keep going.
Don't lose,
Yeah,
right? Don't lose hope.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Elise. This
Oh,
was fun.
yeah, this was fun. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we should do it. Yeah, do it with the kids. They could run their.
To get our kids together, the cousins. And we're gonna have another virtual family Zoom soon, so we'll see each other there.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, yeah, that would be a lot of fun. A lot
Fun.
of fun. Very lots of windows. Lots of yeah.
I can't
But
wait I can't wait to meet Noah.
yeah. Oh, that's the other sad thing. Yeah, I know. He would have been crawling after his big cousins. Yeah, if it weren't for
We'll
the.
have you out, and as soon as we can, we'll have you guys come out, or we'll come to the city. We'll all get together.
That was fun. Yeah.
So love
Oh,
to Nat, and have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll see each other soon. Thank you again for coming on.
oh, thanks for having me. This is so lovely. Have a good rest of your night.
You and thank you all for listening. And tune in with Talia, me next week, Wednesday at 6 p.m. And I'll say goodnight. Bye.